A very good afternoon from the Alton Towers Resorts, where we've just got back from our trip out to Ventura in Spain. If you haven't already, make sure you check out the vlogs here on the channel. Now, just before we head out to Europa Park in Germany tomorrow, I thought I'd pop into Alton Towers and just have a look at some of the construction projects that are now ongoing. That includes the Skyride, where there's a lot more active work taking place to hopefully bring that attraction back in 2025. Along with that, work has now started on what we expect to be a new scare maze for Halloween this year, and most exciting of all, work has now also started on that new flat ride planned for Forbidden Valley, currently known as Project Ocean. So come and join me here on Theme Park Worldwide for a little update from the Alton Towers Resort. Let's start off then here in Mutiny Bay talking about the Skyride, a really important part of infrastructure here at the resort, with 3 stations around the theme park transporting guests around. It was closed due to technical issues throughout the whole of 2023, and we're all hoping that it was going to be back for the 2024 season. And then Alton Towers did confirm that it will be staying closed throughout this year because it does need major investments. Now the good news is they are actively starting to work on the Skyride now to hopefully bring this back in 2025. Like I say, it's really important to get people around this huge theme park, and also as well it does offer some nice scenic views of the park, but especially with it being the main transport ride, they really need this back in 2025. As you can see, they are now working on one of the supports just here, located in Mutiny Bay, and there's been a lot of other active work starting these past few weeks on the Skyride itself in other places, so we'll just head around the corner and have a little close-up look at what they're doing on this support just here. And just whilst I'm making my way over to that part of Mutiny Bay, there's a couple of workers over there on the stage, on the lawn, so it looks like they could be possibly preparing that for entertainment again soon. Fingers crossed, because the stage is all set up down there. It'd be really good to see some more entertainment on that stage, because it looks a bit weird just having the stage there with nothing happening on it, you know, so hopefully that is the case. Now you can see this actually from a little bit further back as well. What they've actually done is lowered the cables, so obviously the gondolas are attached to those cables. You can see that's the normal height just over to the right there, and then you can just see here above the courtyard how then cables have lowered down, and that's mainly because they've took the wheel assembly off at the top, so you can see that one on the right hand side has got the wheels on the support structure just there, and they completely removed that on both sides over on this one just here. So this is going to be an interesting one just to follow really throughout the 2024 season, just to really see what's happening with it. But the good news is work is happening, and nothing was really happening last season that we could see anyway, so that's a good sign for this coming back next year. So as we can see from the number just on the bottom here, this is support number 4, standing right underneath it just here now, and yeah, you get a good idea on how they've lowered the cables down and took out the wheels on both sides just there. So we'll be following this very closely throughout the year and see what happens. Maybe we're going to see this happen to all of the other supports that make up the Skyride. It's a big job, a huge amount of money's been spent on this. And on the next support along, just the other side of the courtyard, you can see how that would normally look just there, with the wheels on both sides at the top and the cable running just over the top of that one. So it'll be interesting to see if we see something similar happen to this one just here and all the other ones. So that's a little update on the construction work taking place on the Skyride. We'll just keep coming in throughout the year and bringing you updates on that and seeing how it's progressing. This is definitely a good sign. We're still in April. They're saying it's closed throughout 2024. Fingers crossed, it means it's going to be ready for the start of the 2025 season. Money well spent though, big part of the infrastructure here, and they really needed to get this done as soon as they can do. So I'm very pleased just to see some active work taking place. Right then, we're walking down Haunted Hollow, and we're going to head on the pathway from Gloomy Wood down into Forbidden Valley, because work has started on preparing the area for a new back of house building, which is heavily expected to be a new location for scare mazes. Now, scare mazes have been in the towers mostly for many years now, so it's very positive to see they're looking at taking the mazes out of the towers hopefully and putting them in different locations around the park. This could then open the towers up more, so we can walk around, explore, they could do tours and that sort of thing, and not just be having the mazes set up in there all year round. So fingers crossed, and that's what we're seeing done here. Now the location where they're currently building this new back of house area is actually just on the other side of the monorail track and the trees that we can see there as well. So that's really good because it's going to be quite hidden away from the main part of the park just here. You're not really going to see it because all the trees will shield it just over there as well. Let's put it into perspective where we are. Of course, we're on the pathway that leads from Gloomy Wood down into Forbidden Valley. You got the Cope Freestyle building there. The big green building that you can see is the monorail maintenance area. And this is going to be constructed out of shipping containers and also a tent behind the trees just over here. So that's the good thing, you know, it's not going to look the most appealing from outside, so I'm pleased that it's going to be hidden away. And then of course, if it is for a scare maze like we're expecting, they'll be able to build like a nice facade on the front and it'll be all hidden away and look fantastic. Now, we do get a bit of a view of it over the fence just up by the toilets here, so let's go and take a look. Oh, and lots of active work taking place today, as we can see just here. Off to the left-hand side, just by this digger, you can see how they've started to put in the access pathway. And then you can also see the concrete base, the huge foundation, all across the top there as well. That they'll be placing the containers and this permanent marquee on there as well. So yeah, it will be very similar to the building that's used for survival games down at Thorpe Park Fright Nights. Looks almost identical, in fact. You can also see just down here how they've started to put in the sides for an access path that will come down to right here. So they'll probably put a gate in, and yeah, this could be the entrance and exit to a brand new scare maze. And that's the thing, we're only in April, but the fact they're actively working on this, you can see the base is all complete over there now. Very exciting to see, and it's quite a large space as well. Oh, there goes the monorail. And again, we'll keep you updated with this project here on Theme Park Worldwide. Progressing very quickly. They only started really clearing the area a couple of weeks ago, and already the base is now laid. We should be seeing the containers and the building going to place on there quite soon. So yeah, really pleased to see that they're going to have another permanent location. Survival games down at Thorpe Park is in quite a large area, so hopefully with this we're going to be seeing a nice long detailed maze, and most importantly something brand new for Scarefest, and just opening up the towers again for other uses, which I'm really pleased about. I'm really passionate about the history of Alton Towers, I always have been, and I'm really hoping that that means we can see other projects for the towers and just getting them back in service again. I'm back up into a very quiet Forbidden Valley. Always nice on these weekdays, especially now Easter's all done with. Very quiet here at Alton Towers. Get plenty of rides in if you are visiting. I'm going to talk about a really exciting development now, and that is Project Ocean, a new flat ride coming down here to Forbidden Valley. Now, originally we expected this to start construction maybe right near the end of the year, or possibly even just over winter, with it being a flat ride, and then ready to open at the start of the 2025 season. But already they've blocked off the site to start work on this, so potentially that makes us really interested about timeframes for this. Could it be opening earlier than expected? Could we be looking at a summer 2024 opening, or even later this year? Or are they just getting things done early? Or are they looking at just starting some of it now, reopening the pathway again, and then yeah, opening the ride still next year? Very interesting, but none of us were expecting work to start on this already, so we'll go and have a little look. I'll probably have a quick whiz round on Nemesis whilst I'm here as well, may as well. How long's the queue? Oh, experiencing a temporary delay. It's down. Did do a bit of a Nemesis update last week on the channel, so make sure you check it out if you haven't already seen it. Just talking about the ride and reliability and all that kind of stuff. Experiencing a temporary delay. Temporary delay? Oh, you never know. By the time I film this clip, it might be in action again. There's a train just down there on the brake run that's loaded, so maybe it's just gone down. Great vibes though down in this area, and about to get even better with this new flat ride. So obviously for 3 years we had temporary rides here at Alton Towers known as the Retro Squad, and at first, you know, it was a bit quirky, it was something a little bit different, and then year 2 came along of them looking out of place, then year 3 where they're really out of place, and then of course the refurbished Nemesis for this year, and that would have meant looking out at a temporary funfair ride opposite such a beautifully themed experience, and also enhancements to the area. And so I was very pleased to see them gone. And then of course we found out that permission had gone in to build a new flat ride here in Forbidden Valley, codenamed Project Ocean. Now at this moment in time, we still don't know the relevance between the codename Project Ocean and the flat ride that Alton Towers have purchased for this site, but all signs are looking very likely that we could be seeing the return of a Huss top spin here into Forbidden Valley. A Huss top spin is basically Ripsaw that used to operate on this site from 1997 through to 2015. It was a great ride, a fantastic themed experience as well that fit beautifully into the original version of Forbidden Valley. So I'd love to see that come back again. maybe an updated model, but based on the area that they've got here, we know it would fit there. They're also putting in this new building with a pathway underneath. It would basically sit just on top of that. There we go, now he's testing again, so it should get me riding. So it's all very exciting. Like I say, no major construction started yet, but they have boarded off all the sites, they've rerouted the pathway. Let's have a little look. And here it is, the site is now all blocked off, ready for construction to begin. You can see the construction fence all the way down here. Actually, I can hear a bit of work happening today, just on the other side of the fence. Let's have a little look. So yeah, this is temporary with the Harris fence in, and then they're actually putting in the wooden boards just behind it. So it won't be blocked off quite as much as we can see here. Let's have a little look what we can see through this open area. Oh, here's the gates, access gates going into the site. Can't believe this already. Was not expecting this to start. There we go, yeah, cutting the wood and putting in the permanent construction fence all around the edge. They definitely would not be doing this unless construction was going to be starting imminently. You can also see another pair of access gates just down by supply store bunker 94. That makes sense because they'll probably store things on the G&H car park just behind Galactica, bring things in through the perimeter gate just there into this site. But this is really exciting because yeah, we did not expect this to be starting right now. The only negative of this is that of course you got the area which is looking great. Only opened a month ago, you know, Nemesis reborn, everything looking nice and fresh, and you have now got a construction site right in the middle of this area and on the pathway just here. So in terms of access down to Galactica and the roller coaster restaurant, not the best, the fact they're doing it in the season, but if that does mean it's going to be opening this year, then fair play. Like I say, there is a chance that they could potentially just be starting this project and then completing it over winter. I mean, we don't know the timings, anything's possible, but yeah, there is a chance we could possibly see them working on the concrete structure, what's going to be sat right here with the ride going on top. Maybe they're going to put the tunnel in and the structure first, so then when it comes around to winter, they can just put the ride on nice and quickly. But I guess we'll find out with this one. It seems very interesting that they're started now, especially when this is a main pathway that leads down to Galactica. Oh, looks like they're just testing the beast now. Should be back in action in just a moment, so I have a quick ride round on Nemesis before heading out to Europa Park. Just noticed they've painted these steps, actually put a white line on there as well. Maybe people were tripping up. Let's go and have a little look just round the corner. And also I did go on the monorail in just to get a bit of an aerial view of the site, and that's the good thing with the monorail running right through the heart of Forbidden Valley. Just mean we're going to get some great updates looking at the construction of Project Ocean from up on there. And as you can see, no major work started yet. All like the rocks are still in round the side and everything. It wasn't long ago we were queuing up just round there actually to go into supply store bunker 94. They're still looking for Percy. Still looking for him. I don't think he's over there. He could. They just love the Alton Towers entertainment team. Absolutely brilliant. So all this is blocked in, right next to the new shop. Interesting timing. I just don't think they'd want to block this in if it wasn't intended on opening this year. I mean, you just do it all over winter. I mean, at the end of the day, it's only a flat ride that we're looking at here. It's not a major coaster or dark ride or even water ride construction. Flat rides don't necessarily take that long to build. So the fact that, you know, we're near the end of April, there is a possibility this could open at some point during the 2024 season, which I would not be complaining about and would be worth having a big crater in the middle of the area. I'm sure we're going to get all sorts of boarding and themed things for the Phalanx on there. I'd be very surprised if we didn't. Probably by the time we're back from Europa Park, there'll be something on there. It wouldn't surprise me. Hey! But I guess we'll see. Theme Park Worldwide on YouTube. I love it. Yeah, very interesting. There you go. That's Project Ocean. It's about to get underway here at the Alton Towers Resort, right in Forbidden Valley. And as always, we'll bring you lots of updates and have a good construction series with everything that's going on with this. But yeah, here's the other exit gate, just round on this side, right next to supply store bunker 94. So yeah, they'll be bringing in the materials down here, and yeah, I imagine we're going to see like all these rocks go and some big changes, because obviously you're going to have, based on the plans, this massive kind of box, it looks like, that you're going to walk through, but actually the box that's on top is just representing the ride clearance envelope. You know, that's got nothing to do with the actual ride that's going on here. It will also be facing this way and also towards the blade. Ripsaw used to face out in this direction, so you could be standing right here and looking up this big top spin, hopefully. Still not confirmed, like I say, but all the measurements do add up and be a really nice throwback. Imagine if it's called like Ripsaw Revenge or something. I think that'd be a great name. And just wait 5 minutes for a nice ride on Nemesis, back row as well. Loving how many back row rides getting on Nemesis this year. It is wonderful having the beast back here at the Alton Towers Resort in 2024. Lots of exciting updates then, starting off with the Skyride. Good to see work actively happening on there, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that's going to be all done and dusted, ready for the start of the 2025 season. It really needs to be. It's a big project. Even though they've started work now, I don't think there's any chance of it opening this year. The park have been quite clear and transparent on that as well, by saying, you know, it's a big amount of money they're spending on it, huge infrastructure project, so I'd expect that to be ready for the start of next season. Along with that then, of course, work starting ready for Scarefest, we believe, already on that new back of house building, so that's certainly something exciting to follow. Active work taking place there today, and of course we'll see what happens with that over the next few weeks. I think that'll be quite a quick installation. It's like I say, it's not a proper building, so to speak, even though it is permanent. It's kind of like shipping containers, and then also like a marquee that runs down the middle. And then finally, Project Ocean getting underway much earlier than any of us expected, but still very exciting. Makes me question the timeline for this now. Is it going to be 2025? Is it going to be this year? Are they just doing part of it now, like all that concrete kind of building and the pathway, so they can then just put the ride in nice and easy over winter? All sorts of possibilities. From a marketing point of view, you think it would make more sense to open it next year, because Nemesis is the big focus this year, and normally Alton Towers like to focus on one big thing at a time, but then also the park is in desperate need of permanent flat rides, and maybe they want to try and get it in for the summer, so we'll let you know if we hear any updates. Also, a quick one to add in, nothing to show on the outside, so I thought I'll just mention it at the end of the video. Nothing yet on Hex. We don't know when it's going to reopen. I'm missing it so much, and fingers crossed it's back in action soon here at Alton Towers. But thanks for joining us here on Theme Park Worldwide. Next video, we're heading out to Europa Park in Germany. It'll be our travel vlog, and we're heading out, of course, for the opening day of Voltron, the brand new roller coaster. That leaves me with one final thing to say. Get out there and keep on riding. See you in the next video.